use anything that's taped. It's all acoustic live music because I believe there's an energy ball that moves between the music and the dancer and the audience. The music, that it's like passing a big beach ball around, you know, of energy. And once you're there and you see that in nature, gee, it's really one of those things you can't deny. It's right there. And I'm happy to say that on June 16th, Margie Gillis will be performing at Terpsichore, and she is, I think, one of the most extraordinary dancers to have ever set foot on the planet. And she's one of those very rare people whose energy and whose spirit is so positive and gives such a positive feel for the dance that you can't, just looking at her, you get it. There's no question about, ooh, what's the work or this or that. You get it. You're there. You're part of her. You're part of what's happening.
What is her background? Where did she start?
Well, she came from actually from an athletic background that then moved in through the dance. Her brother, Chris Gillis, was a well-known choreographer with Paul Taylor. He passed away of AIDS, and one of the things that she's done is created a thing called the Margie Gillis Foundation, which takes her a great deal of her profits and puts them back into the community, in this case for AIDS, but in other aspects as well. So again, going back to that idea of the arts and the dance being part of the community, not some kind of pariah that sits outside of it, but something that's really a part of it, an ongoing mechanism.
Well, I think the other thing that's interesting about that is that there's been a big influence since the 60s, really, with Kennedy, where exercise has become so important and so on, and there's a lot of athletics, and I think athletics are very important, but I do think that somehow you miss a little bit of the heart of things and the inspiration if you don't have the nature of the arts in connection. So it's interesting that somebody would come out of this background of athletics and have this kind of inspirational quality.
Well, there is that aspect of winning in athletics, and that means there's a lot of passion and there's a lot of guts. Sometimes the trained dancer coming from the age of 6 up doesn't have that same degree of passion and I've got to have it, I've got to have it. Certainly that's expressed through Margie's work. And
let's talk about young dancers and the trials and tribulations that they have to go through today.
Okay, let's.
I mean, they start so young, right? Let's talk about ballet dancers, because that's sort of the...
Well, they're put through a great deal, and they're put through a great deal early, and they spend most of their time working on their bodies. And what suffers, I believe, is their mental capacity and their outreach, and also their social skills. So they don't come out... it's the moment that a mother says, I think little Boopsie would make a beautiful ballerina, she's made a hell of a statement. Does Mama know what little Boopsie is going to have to go through about anorexia, about the kind of hours and the time involved? So that's a great responsibility for mom and dad to check out before they start getting into that. What are the reasons for Boopsie to dance?
But there are dancers that, you know, have inspired in other ways. I mean, like this Patricia McBride, hasn't she done a lot for the dance world in general in terms of talking about dance? And
well, she and her husband Jean-Pierre Bonfou have a wonderful place in Chautauqua. They work with the Chautauqua Festival, and they've done a great job. Violette Verdi, Lynn Taylor Corbett are all up there, and they do a great deal to try to educate, I think is the word, really educate and have dancers and artists take responsibility.
And Jacques d'Amboise, I think, is somebody that's
absolutely
done, yeah. Could you tell us a little some of the things
well,
he's
his
done?
institute is wonderful, and it's really about bringing dance to all levels within the community, so that it's not so elitist, but it's, again, as I was saying, bringing it in on the community basis and reminding people how to dance for the right reasons, coming from the right places.
Has he ever used street dancing as a part of his
Oh, yes, a great deal.
choreography? Yeah.
He's really wonderful. He goes all across the board, and I think that's what's so important, because all of the kids and the students that are involved, as well as the teachers, get it. You know, it's not some stretch. It's not a new language. It's not a new form of communication. It's something we all do, and he does it brilliantly.
Well, this is the note we're going to have to end on, but I want to thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you.
And if you want to call the number on the screen, you can contact Tommy directly at Terpsichore Sand, his organization. I hope you'll go this summer. He's going to have lots of wonderful performances. Thank you. I'm Mary Michelle for WVIP.